Hello. Welcome back or welcome to the Hot Girl Guide podcast. Hi, happy Monday. How are we? You may or may not know that to get this podcast up and going again, I needed to reignite the energy. So I did a week where I posted as many episodes as possible. I got 5, which is really good, but we're not doing 5 uploads a week from here on in because number one, I have a lot to say, but I don't have that much to say. And number two, I feel like I would run out of topics quite quickly. So going forward from here on in, every Monday morning and Thursday morning, there will be a new episode of the Hot Girl Guide podcast, and I'm excited about it. So before we get into today's episode, which is all about social media and how I have realized over the years of using social media that it is in fact a mirror. We're going to get into that in a second, but before we do, note this podcast is not sponsored, but I'm doing this little segment called Perfume of the Pod. Now, because we're doing 2 episodes a week, I'll probably run out of perfumes quite quickly, but I'm just going to give you my perfume recommendations. So today's Perfume of the Pod is from YSL, and it is their YSL Libra Intense. You can't get it wrong, right? It's not the regular Libra, it's the Intense Libra. When the original Libra from YSL came out, I know a lot of people were using it and recommending it to me, but it just wasn't a scent that I love and adore. But when I got the Libra Intense, this is warm, delicious. I don't know the notes off the top of my head, but it is like a very warm, kind of oudy perfume along the lines of the Shagaf Oud. Like sometimes I will wear these together. This was the perfume of the pod last time. So I will mix these together quite a lot. I know there's vanilla notes in this, but it's like warm, sexy vanilla. It's a very good like nighttime perfume. I wear it day and night because if I'm going to smell good, I'm going to smell good all of the time. Do you know what I mean? The YSL Libra Intense is a more sensual take on the iconic YSL Libra. And I am nothing if not a sensual girly, okay? I have my Venus in Taurus, I am a Taurus, and I have my Mars and Mercury in Aries. So I'm giving sensual. The signature notes are lavender essence from France, Moroccan orange blossom combined with glowing orchid and warm vanilla. I can tell you right now, it does not smell orangey to me because I'm not a citrusy perfume kind of girl, but it pushes the perfume to the extreme and it is a long-lasting, unique twist on the floral fragrance. Yes, so the original YSL Libra is floral. I'm not a floral girly. I love this one. I love the sensual YSL Libra Intense. So for all my perfume lovers or for anyone who's looking to add a new scent to their collection, then the YSL Libra is stunning. Is this an ad? No. But hopefully from doing this, some perfumes are going to slide into my DMs and send me some because I am such a scent girly. I think there is nothing better in this world than being complimented on what you smell like. The topic today is all about social media being a mirror. And as someone who grew up with the introduction of social media, I'm a good person to have a take on this because I am a 90s kid. I was born in 1994 and I do remember a time before Instagram. I do remember having my BlackBerry with my BBM. That was our social media. I was very cognizant and a teenager when Instagram was introduced. I had Bebo, I had MSN Messenger, I had Facebook, and I have Instagram and TikTok. I was on Tumblr. I was on all of the social medias, okay? Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube, I love them all. I love social media and I think social media is such a great tool. But on the other hand, I am very aware of social media and I'm very aware of the negative effects it can have, especially for people who are being introduced to it at a younger age than I ever was. People or children are being introduced to social media young. I don't know how young, I don't know the statistics on it, but I'm only imagining it is very young. There are 7-year-olds doing TikTok dances, right? I'm not going to complain about the 7-year-olds doing TikTok dances. I love it. I love seeing people dancing. That is not the point of today's episode. The point of today's episode is what we see on social media and what we experience on social media. And I'm going to start this with my own story because I think a lot of you might relate to it. During 2020, I got lost in Irish politics Twitter. I don't know if any of you have been on the deep, dark side of the Twitter for whatever your government is, because it doesn't matter if you're Irish, American, Lithuanian, Australian, Middle Eastern, South American, Brazilian, wherever you live in the world, you can get lost on the government side of Twitter and the politics side of Twitter for your country and for where you live. And it was 2020, okay? There was a lot going on politically. And I dove down the rabbit hole of Irish politics because I was like, I want to be informed. I want to know as much as I can. Like, so many people aren't informed. Like, what are they doing? Yada yada. Like, I was one of those girlies, which I totally regret, because you can't judge anyone for their stance on politics. Well, I mean, you can. Okay, we're not going to get into that because that is risky waters, shark invested waters, which I don't want to talk about. But anyway, about me, I got lost in the Irish politics side of Twitter, which, long story short, led me to deleting Twitter because I was like, Twitter is such a negative app. It's full of bad news. It's full of negativity. I don't want it. So I deleted the whole entire app. Fast forward to 2023, present day, I re-download Twitter because Love Island's on. And we all know, if you have watched Love Island UK real time and you have been on Twitter while it's going on, it is hilarious. The jokes, the memes, the live tweeting. It's probably the best part of Love Island, and it was definitely the best part of the recent season of Love Island, you know what I mean? And then I realised I wasn't really vibing with this season of Love Island, which was fine. And I searched something to do with astrology on Twitter. Now, if you don't know now, you know I'm a big astrology girly. I love everything to do with astrology. I love looking at the houses and the placements. I'm not talking about star signs in the back of a magazine. I'm talking about astrology, like studying it. It's so fun. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love doing people's birth charts. I love explaining it to people. It just, I love doing it so much. So I search something to do with astrology on Twitter. And next thing, my Twitter feed is full of astrology girlies. My Twitter feed is full of astrologers. My Twitter feed is full of updates on the energy and the stars and the full moon and Aries season and Pluto moving into Aquarius and the Saturn return and all that stuff. Now I love Twitter because every time I click into it, I see stuff that I enjoy seeing. I think we know what the moral of this story is. It's not the platform, it's you. And I know there is so much nuance to this conversation. And I know sometimes that is not a nice thing to hear. You don't want to hear that social media is negative. You want to blame something else. Because when you get lost in something like politics or conspiracy theories or drama or trolling on the internet, when you go down that rabbit hole, you go very deep, very fast, because there is so much information about everything on social media. Some of it is more hidden by Meta than others, which again, not going to get into, but you can find a lot of information on whatever topic you want. And the thing about social media is they use algorithms, and these algorithms are very smart. I don't know if you heard about Chat GPT version 4. The version 4 of the AI technology that has been released this year is passing lawyer exams. It's smart, okay? And it's probably smarter, more intelligent than a lot of us in some ways. So if that's what the AI looks like, you can only imagine what these social media algorithms are like. The second you search something, even the second you talk about something, your phone is registering that information. So the more you search it and the more you talk about it, the more it's going to come up in your feed. And I know a lot of you are like, Rebecca, we know this. We know if we go up to our boyfriend's phone and, be like, engagement rings, holidays to the Maldives, Bali trip. But what we all fail to realize is how in control we are of every single social media platform that we use. If I pulled up my For You page and your For You page on TikTok, they would be totally different, because what I see is based on what I watch, and what I watch turns into more of what I see. So the viral videos that I see and the viral videos that you see could be two totally different viral videos based on what you're searching. And I know this is basic information, and I know a lot of us know this, but when it comes to negative stuff, a lot of the time we feed into that negativity. If you don't like seeing something on social media, whether that's Instagram models or whether you don't like seeing people who use loads of filters and have perfect skin and have perfect lives, if you hate seeing that, and if that makes you feel really bad about yourself, but yet you continue to watch it, you are the one that is subjecting yourself to all of this content, because on every piece of content there is a hide button, there is a not interested button, there is a don't show me content like this button. It varies from social media platform to social media platform, but when you're scrolling, you can click on any piece of content that makes you feel bad. You might enjoy it, but deep down watching that content is not good for you. It's not good for your mental health. There is a button on every single piece of content that you can click not interested. I am such a big user of the not interested button. I do it on ads. If I see ads I don't want to see, for a while there was a lot of ads relating to healthcare and stuff like that. I don't want to see that. I'm on social media trying to have a good time. I'm trying to look at astrology. I'm trying to look at memes. I'm trying to look at like feel good, positive, motivational stuff. While I'm on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or Twitter or wherever is not the time that I want to be thinking about the news. I don't want to be thinking about the news when I'm going on my phone to entertain myself. So anything I see that is related to stuff that makes me feel bad inside, I don't watch, or I click not interested in. There was a certain man with a bald head trending for ages. I think we all know his name. I'm not even going to say it. And especially for women, that man and his content was quite triggering, because not only was what he's saying very derogatory and misogynistic, but a lot of men's and people's responses to him was very derogatory and misogynistic without them even maybe realizing, without it being a conscious thing. So every time a video about this man or featuring this man or talking good of this man or talking bad of this man came up, I pressed not interested, because not only did I want to see all the people who were obsessed with him or all of his content, but I also didn't want to see the people complaining about him. I didn't want to see any of it. I did not want to see anything relating to this man. So anytime something relating to this man came up on my TikTok, I would press that little not interested button, and what happened? I stopped seeing it, and then I forgot this man existed. It is phenomenal. Do you know what I mean? And you can do that for absolutely anything. No one can tell you what you want to see, okay? If you don't want to see news, point blank, period. If you're like, do you know what? I want to ignore that. I want to block it all out. It's triggering to me. I don't like seeing it. I resonate with a lot of the news that's happening. It's happening to people that look like me, all this bad news, and you just want to not be a woke, informed person. You have full entitlement to press not interested on every news video. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, but you have to be informed. You have to know what's going on in the world. It's good to post about things and it's good to create awareness about these things. I don't want to talk about performance activism right now because I think there's definitely a time and place. But unless you talk about every single bad thing that is happening in the world every single day, there is always something that you're ignoring, or there's always something that you're not bringing awareness to. And if someone chooses to not use social media in that way and not share things and not bring awareness to them, it's not because they're a bad person. It's because their brain can't handle the constant news. News affects people differently, and sometimes seeing too much news can really affect people's mental health. And sometimes people's mental health is, teetering on the edge. They're not doing okay. So them seeing multiple videos that create awareness is going to be really triggering to them, and it's going to send them into a spiral, and it's going to make them feel worse. So of course, there is amazing Instagram accounts. There are amazing online activists who use their voice and who really create change. And it's so amazing to be a part of that. But sometimes you have to choose you and you have to step back. It is very privileged to ignore the news as a whole and not have any clue of what's going on in the world. But a lot of the time, a lot of the news is very triggering and you can't take it all in. If you were to take in every single piece of bad news every single day, you would have an existential crisis, because it's not like before where you had to listen to the radio or you had to pick up a newspaper to read the news. You have this, you have your phone near you, around you at all times. And a lot of the times we pick up our phones to decompress, to forget about something that's stressing us out, or to just escape for a few minutes and maybe watch a funny video or watch someone's story who really makes us feel better about ourselves, or listen to a podcast where we learn something new. But if you're just scrolling on TikTok and next thing a video pops up that you don't want to see, press not interested. You decide what you see. My social media is so curated to things that I care about and things that I want to see. People, positivity, mindset, confidence, astrology, energy, feminism. I love seeing stuff about feminism. I enjoy seeing the bad news because I enjoy sharing it, because I enjoy being a voice for that. But everyone has their thing, and you can't focus on, oh yeah, but I should be informed of all this bad news because it makes me not a woke person if I don't know what's going on. But if that's having a serious detrimental effect to your mental health, you have to choose you at the end of the day. Because if you're not choosing you, then you're not being a good you for all the people around you. If you're not consuming just as much good news as you are bad news every day, there is an issue. If you're only consuming bad news all the time and seeing this negative stuff on social media and drama and all this stuff, and Hailey versus Selena, and who are we going to choose, and look at all the things Hailey did, yada, 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 yada. That is so negative, and that gives you a subconscious thing where you pit women against each other. Okay? I didn't want to get into the Hailey versus Selena thing, but I have to say my 2 cents. I have to say my 2 cents. I am not team Hailey. I am not team Selena. I am team nobody. I am team let's not bully people online when we do not know the full story. Okay? I support Rare Beauty. I love Selena. I love supporting that. But that doesn't mean that I have to bully someone in their comments or take in all these videos of this is why you should be team Hailey and this is why you should be team Selena. We do not need that. But I guess the main kind of point of this whole podcast episode is social media is a mirror. So it is mirroring your thoughts. It is mirroring what you are watching. Like, it's mirroring back to you what you're putting into it. It is technology at the end of the day. If you're constantly searching food recipes, your whole For You page is going to be food recipes. Amazing. So what I want today is to challenge you to search things that you enjoy seeing. Search things that you would love to see more of and watch that come up. I don't care if it's painting or puppy videos or videos of babies laughing or human design or astrology or flowers or makeup videos or sports or UFC or horse riding. I don't care what it is. But once you open your phone and you don't close out Instagram or close out TikTok feeling overwhelmed and feeling like you're behind in life and feeling like you're not good enough, that is what I want. And if you're following someone who is triggering any forms of not feeling good enough about yourself or any forms of comparing your life to them, mute them, block them, unfollow them. No one is going to take an unfollow personally. And if you take someone unfollowing you personally in 2023, I am so sorry, but does it really matter? I unfollow people all the time, and not even for personal reasons. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to see more astrology content. So if I unfollow all these accounts that don't really relate to that right now, then that's fine. And sometimes I'll unfollow and then I'll refollow, because you go through different phases and different interests in your life, because we are human. Are we human? Or are we dancer? Anyway, my point is, learn to use social media to your advantage. Is it a scary tool? Yes. Is there a lot of negativity on it? Yes. But I watched a video this morning of Keith Lee. I don't know if you know who Keith Lee is. He is an American food reviewer who reviews small businesses and changes people's lives overnight via TikTok. He reviewed this girl's chocolate brand recently. It's a Ghanaian chocolate brand. So all the cocoa beans are like supplied from Ghana in Africa. And this woman's goal is to bring a lot of business and everything back to Ghana so that she can have a company in Ghana and create employment and all this. It's amazing. It's an amazing business, amazing story. She was selling like $100 to $200 maybe a day in chocolate. Keith Lee reviewed this woman's chocolate, and he's not positive about everyone. He's giving his honest reviews in this food. And her chocolate is amazing, as it turns out. He gave her a positive review. She earned $25,000 in one day in 24 hours, which led her to be able to retire from her part-time teaching job and give her the funds to invest more back into the business. He changed her life overnight. And I don't know about you, but that is the kind of stuff I love seeing on social media. Because then when you see that kind of stuff, you're like, wow, if I follow my dreams and create a chocolate brand and it's really good and I have good intentions behind it, maybe my life can change from social media too. Do you know what I mean? Like, where there is a positive, there is a negative in absolutely everything in the world. There can't not be a positive and negative, but you get to decide where you focus your energy. You get to choose. And that is the amazing thing about being a human with agency over themselves and their life. You get to pick up your phone and search and find people that you're like, oh my God, every time I watch them, I feel so positive and so good and so uplifted and so inspired about life. You get to do that. You just have to find those people. And the more you search for those people and the more you engage with those people and the more you comment on those people's videos and like those videos and share those videos, the more your algorithm is going to be like, hey, we're going to show her more stuff like this. That is my Monday morning rant. I hope you enjoyed. I just want everyone to have a positive experience. And I want you to realize that, of course, there is nuance. Of course, there are bad things happening. And of course, that is bad. We don't want bad things to happen. But bad things have always happened. Bad things will always happen. So where are you going to focus that energy? You can focus 70% of your energy on the positive, and of course, be engaged about the negative. Try to make a difference about the negative. But if your social media feed is 90% negative news all the time, that you feel drained and you feel like you're behind and you feel like you're a failure and you feel like what's the point anywhere and you feel like doomed almost as a human, that's not a good place to be, because this iPhone, this social media stuff has changed so many lives for the better. And I know it has changed so many lives for the worse. But you get to decide how you use it and what content you take in. So thank you for listening. Don't forget, sharing this podcast on social media is free and it helps me. And it's a positive thing you can do. You can start today by leaving a 5-star review on Spotify or on Apple, or sharing this with a friend, or sharing this on your social media, or just by going to your Instagram or your TikTok or your Pinterest or your Tumblr or your Facebook or your whatever social media, YouTube, and typing things that make you feel happy, that you want to see more of. And the more you do that, the more your phone is going to show you it. And I want you all to search Keith Lee and watch his content, because I love it. It makes me feel so hopeful, and that there are people that are positive and are a vessel in this world and that are changing lives for the better via social media. So it's not all bad. And if you have got into your head that it's all bad and it's always negative and you always feel bad, take a break. Take a step back and be like, okay, I'm going to search for the positive here, because Rebecca says there is some positive to be found. So I'm going to try look at that and see what happens. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Don't forget to follow and rate and do all the things. Okay, goodbye.